Academy of Pediatrics, the Arizona Department of Health and Safety, as well as the Maricopa Department of Public Health, have all said that it is critical that masks are part of mitigation strategies to bring back safe in-person learning. Phoenix Union High School District has made it very clear that we want to bring back in-person learning, and when we come back, we want to stay back. And ultimately, we want exactly what the rest of the state and even state leaders want. We want to return to in-person learning. We want to bring back on-site social, emotional, and mental health services. We want to re-engage our kids safely in clubs and sports and activities. And we know that one way in which to do that is to follow the science on how to minimize spread on our campuses. What we read in all of the recommendations and guidelines locally and nationally is that there are ways to mitigate or minimize the spread of COVID. First is through the vaccine. The Phoenix Union High School District, we're here at Alhambra High School. In fact, some of you might be able to hear the announcements happening right now. We're here at Alhambra High School because we are hosting vaccination pods yet again. Phoenix Union has become a state and a national leader in providing widespread access through many partnerships to the COVID vaccine. We are here today at Alhambra. We have 8 sites dispensing vaccines to students, families, and communities on our campuses. Over the last several months, we have given out over 20,000 vaccines to educators, to essential workers, to students and families and community, because we know that mitigation strategy number 1 is the vaccine. And we know at the same time that the second strongest mitigation strategy is masks. We've seen that from all guidelines across our nation. That is why we are confident in the decision to bring back masks as a part of our commitment to also providing widespread access to the vaccine. We're really excited to welcome back our students and staff on Monday as safely as possible. And I will turn it over to Richard for questions.
Thank you, Dr. Geston. And now we will go to our first question, Mr. Peter Samore.
Okay, can you hear me okay, Dr. Geston?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Very well. Thank you for making yourself available today. First question, Governor Ducey's office is calling your mandate unenforceable. How do you respond to that, meaning unenforceable within your school district?
Yeah, we have recently become aware of a statement that the mask mandate is unenforceable in our system. This is a policy decision that we have made in Phoenix Union. When individuals come back here to Phoenix Union, the expectation, the requirement, and the policy will be that every single person wears masks. I'm going to pause for a moment as this passing period music plays here at Alhambra High School. First of all, we apologize for the interruption, although I have to be very honest, it's a very welcome sound. As we're here back on a campus, as we bring back our students, it's a reminder of all the hard work that goes into preparing for our school year, including bell schedules and bells and making sure that students get to their classes on time. And so just to wrap up that question, we here in the Phoenix Union High School District have the local authority to make sure that when we adopt a policy, we enforce that policy.
Thank you for your question. Next, we have Megan Terros.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time. I'm Megan with the Arizona Republic. I was just curious, Given the retroactivity clause in the bill, the argument seems to be that this mandate isn't legal. Do you believe it is, and why would you say that? Why do you think so?
Ultimately, as we talk about science, as a school system, we're not charged with the task of being medical experts. That's why we follow the medical expert advice. At the same time, myself as superintendent, us as district leaders, we're also not attorneys. We have legal counsel and others looking into legality of a decision like this. Our job is to protect the health and safety and wellness of our students. My job as superintendent, our job as governance structures and executive team is to focus on the responsibility that we have, and that's to bring back safely 32,000 young men, young women, and staff, and at the same time to do so safely.
Thank you for your question. Next, we will go to Claudia Rupich.
Hi there, it's Claudia Rupich. Thank you for making some time. I'm with ABC 15 here in Phoenix. I'm kind of going to follow up on that. I know you said you're responding to health concerns and the safety of everyone there at your schools, but what is your expectation then? If the governor says one thing, this is not enforceable, and you're going ahead with the policy that you're going ahead with, do you expect the courts to be involved? Is that what you're hoping for to kind of solve this issue? Or because, I mean, when we look at just what legally is out there, the law goes into effect at the end of September, but the executive order is in place now. So it would seem like this is not enforceable.
As I said earlier to the couple of questions, from a legal perspective, we have legal counsel worrying about what potential next steps there may be. The reality is the timeline is such that on Monday, 32,000 people come back to school with all the guidelines that have been given to us around how to protect the health and safety of our students and staff. And with the zip code spread as it is, we have no choice but to enforce what medical experts tell us is the way to keep our campuses safe. What legal implications this may have, that's not my responsibility. My responsibility is to educate our kids and keep our community safe.
Thank you for your question. Next, we have Rocio Hernandez.
Hi, good afternoon. Thanks for leading this. I wanted to ask two questions. Seeing now that Governor Ducey says this policy is not enforceable, what would be the consequence then if a student or staff decides that they don't want to wear a mask while indoors? And I also wanted to ask, why require this if, it's probably likely that a majority of your students are old enough to get vaccinated?
So a couple of responses. Our expectation when we come back on Monday, just like any other policy or decision, is that all of our staff and our students follow that expectation. And we fully expect individuals, both staff and students, to follow that expectation. And if those don't, that'll be dealt with on an individual basis. And then your second question, I think, is a great question. That why would a high school system with students that have full access to the vaccine enforce such a policy? First, goes back to our initial decision, which is CDC, federal, state, and local officials say that in order to come back safely, masks are a critical component to the safe return to in-person learning, whether you are vaccinated or unvaccinated. Our job is to follow the science and follow medical experts. We teach science in Phoenix Union. We trust science in Phoenix Union, and we'll continue to follow those guidelines. We also know a couple of other facts. We know that in the zip codes in which we serve, even though Phoenix Union has played a critical role in public health, providing widespread access to the vaccine, that statistically only about half of individuals living in our zip codes have gotten access or have taken the vaccine. So we also know statistically that many individuals coming back to school, staff and students, will come back unvaccinated. That is a recipe for faster spread of COVID, especially the Delta variant, on our campuses. At the same time, we'll continue to push and provide access to the vaccine. As I said, we're here at Alhambra High School. This is not an either-or debate. This is not a debate of should you get the vaccine and should you wear your mask. What science tells us is that we should get our vaccine and at the same time especially in the presence of a fast-growing, dangerous Delta variant, that we should wear masks. And in K-12 education, in particular, it is critically important. I think what's also important is to step back and take a look not just at Phoenix Union, but across the state of Arizona. We are about to, in the state of Arizona, bring back 1.1 million school children. Of those 1.1 million school children, if you are K-5, which is about half of our students in Arizona, do not have access to the vaccine. And of the other half, statistically, about half have taken the vaccine. That means that we are about to bring back in our state 800,000 beautiful young children across our state of Arizona, put them in classrooms and in hallways together. And without the vaccine and without the ability to require masks, we have taken away the two most important mitigation strategies. And with a workforce crisis in Arizona and an ability or a lack of ability to suddenly have extra classrooms to dramatically lower class size, we'll have larger class sizes, which distancing is the third best mitigation strategy. And if we're not careful, bringing back 1.1 million children, many of whom do not have the vaccine, in the absence of masks, in crowded classrooms and hallways, that's a recipe not only for public health, but I also worry about, as so many people do, the economy and the impact that it could have across our state, also here locally.
Thank you so much for that question. Next, we have Bram Resnick.
Hi, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can.
Good. Thanks very much for doing this.
Of course.
Two questions. A, did you inform the governor's office that you were doing this? And B, on the question about the law that several have asked, are you saying you don't know what the legal analysis of the law is and how it applies to what you're doing?
Thanks for the questions, Bram. First, yes, governor and governor's office was aware of this decision before we went public. And second, certainly I'm aware that decisions that we make that could be contrary to state law or a local House bill could have implications. What I'm saying is that my job as superintendent is to bring back our staff and students safely. And general counsel here in Phoenix Union, in support of others, can handle the legal side. But on Monday, my job is to ensure the safe return.
Thank you for that question. Next, we will go to Jason Berry.
Dougie, it's your old friend Kristen.
Thank you. Next, we will go back to Peter Samore.
Hello, can you hear me okay again, Dr. Guestin?
Yes, I can.
Very well. So a couple of follow-ups to all the line of questioning. How would you enforce your mandate in schools? Does this mean suspensions for students and staff? And also, are you prepared to take this fight to court? You've said that your legal counsel will handle it, but how are they handling it? Does that include a court battle?
As I said, in terms of enforcement on our campuses for staff and for students, when we enforce a decision and individuals, whether it's staff or students, choose not to follow an enforced policy or decision, that's handled case by case, the way in which we would handle any incident on our campuses, no different than any other incident or infraction. And then the second question is, are we prepared for a legal fight? The reality is, my job is to bring back students safely. If general counsel and others decide that this turns into a legal fight that outlives this decision, then so be it. Our job, as I cannot state enough, is to bring back the safe return to in-person learning, fully recognizing that there are legal implications. That is not my focus today. It's not my focus Monday. It's not my focus as we bring nearly 30,000 students back.
We'll be able to take a couple more questions. Mr. Resnick, do you have a follow-up?
Yes, I do. Thank you. What is your legal counsel's legal analysis of this situation, and why did they give you, say, yes, go ahead with this?
I've had several conversations with our legal counsel They are currently in discussions of the legal implications. And being very serious with you in the media, my job and our job at this point in time is to focus on health and safety. If a legal battle ensues, we'll be fully prepared to handle that. I am welcoming back, and we in Phoenix Union High School District, our governing board, our executive team, our campuses are welcoming back nearly 30,000 students on Monday. We must do everything we can in good faith and in good conscience to ensure that when we come back, it's safe. And when we come back, we stay in sight in our classrooms and not go back to distance learning. We want to ensure that when we're back, we're back.
Thank you. And our final question this session is going to be from Terry Tang.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. Thanks for doing this. I'm Terry Tang with the Associated Press. I was wondering, what is the district's plan for dealing with a student who's unvaccinated and exposed to COVID because those other two school districts got sort of publicly butted heads or whatever over the 10-day quarantine, which the governor's adamantly against?
Thanks for the question about quarantining. Phoenix Union High School District, just like we are with vaccines, just like with masks, we will continue to follow the guidance around quarantines as well. CDC has consistently updated its guidance around quarantines. I serve on a committee and council with Maricopa County Public Health Department. Recently sat in a meeting where we discussed quarantines as well. Phoenix Union High School District will continue to work in partnership with the county to follow the guidance of quarantines. If there's a presence of COVID on our campuses through contact tracing, if it's essential for the safety of not just the individuals impacted, but those around, for individuals, both staff and students, to go into quarantine, we will certainly follow what medical experts tell us to do. And so we fully plan to follow quarantining procedures as well. Let me just quickly end by thanking you all for joining today. I know we only had about 20 minutes for this discussion. Greatly appreciate your concern for our community. Phoenix Union High School District is one of over a couple hundred districts, the umbrella high school district serving the teenagers of Phoenix, and appreciate your concern for us, but also appreciate your concern for the students all across our valley and across our state, and ultimately appreciate your support of both public health and public education. Thank you so much.